Welcome into Chatterbox Bearcats. It is the midweek show. I'm your host, Nick Niehaus. Hudson Klauke joining the midweek show this week. Joined by him, I'm also joined by world famous Eric Lilly. Showed up on Dave Portnoy's pizza reviews. He was talking to El Prez. I wasn't expecting a full-on cameo like that. I thought maybe you'd just be in it, but you were, breaking down how you guys make pizza and everything. You're the star of the show, Lilly.
Scary moments. I was just trying not to go viral. You're playing with fire there sometimes with El Prez. So proud with the performance. Didn't go too viral, and we lived to see another day.
Yeah, we were hoping for a Chatterbox Bearcats shout out, but I can't blame you. I can't blame you. I would have been, my knees would have been buckling knowing that I'm about to have millions of people watching my stuff. All right, anyway. It's the midweek show. As I mentioned, we're going to talk about Xavier. We're going to talk about, the preview the game against Georgia this coming Saturday. Bunch of football news on the horizon. People leaving, people possibly opting out for the bowl game, and just kind of looking forward to next year. Also, brand new segment alert. We are going through voicemails. So instead of the mailbag, we have people calling into the show, leaving voicemails. We will play them. We will react to them. Make sure you call in, ask questions, leave comments. The number, I am pulling it up right now. I believe it is 513-400-4203. So call in, leave us a comment, a question, and it might just get answered on the show. We have some good ones today, but let's start off with the shootout. Hudson, he was getting ratioed to death after the shootout. It's kind of, tough on Xavier's roster, and they kind of took it to us. At least one of them did. Hudson, how do you feel about, not only just getting the business on Twitter, but kind of the shootout as a whole?
Yeah, no, I was getting cooked, and I deserved it. But what I said, for those who haven't listened to the clip, was, hey, they have essentially a Mountain West roster. We have double the NIL. We have more talent, and we should just essentially out-talent them. I still think that is objectively true. They played a way better game, though. I agree. Like, hands up, you guys outplayed us. The home arena, they play a lot better as a team. They certainly out-schemed and out-coached us. But what I said was still true. I still stand by it. The shootout itself, man, like, just running down the numbers is what kind of shocks me, though. Like, if you would have told me before the game, hey, we're going to out-rebound them by 14. We're going to get 15 offensive boards. We're going to make 11 threes to their 6. I would have been like, we win this game by 15. So I don't even know if it was – we didn't really play that bad of a game. Of course, we shot 50% from the free throw line. But Xavier, man, like, maybe Xavier's – we didn't give him enough credit. Maybe this team might be, a solid team, but still in year 5 of Wes Miller, you have to win this game at Cintas, and he just couldn't get it done.
I wanted to almost reply and kind of give you a little bit credit, but I didn't want to get caught in the crossfires either. So I kind of left you on an island, but I wanted to be like, little do these Xavier fans know that Hudson also hates our coach and our team as well.
It was out of context. Like, yeah. Kirby clipped it before I said, but like, we could certainly lose this game at Cintas. And he's a genius. He wanted the interactions. He wanted me to get absolutely pummeled. So, hey, bravo.
This guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. It's like, give it 30 more seconds. You would realize that I think he knows where UC's at as well. Lily, what was your biggest takeaway of the shootout?
What Houdini was just breaking down there is like so spot on. Add in all right, scoring 6 points. I would have said we won by 20 plus. Like, I did not think we could lose the game this way. And believe me, I spent all week thinking about how many different ways we can lose this game. And we talked about it in the pregame show too. And it's like, if we lose the 3-point battle, we're not going to win. And we won it by nearly double and lost. I don't want to analyze it too much, but I really thought, like, other than Trey Carroll, I actually think the 4 minutes where I think it was Borovichinen got in foul trouble in the first half, one of the big men, and then Ndiaye came in. And Ndiaye is not a guy that plays much for them. And he had 2 blocks. He was awesome. He covered that 4 minutes great. and the foul trouble didn't matter because he killed it in those 4 minutes. I actually thought that was like one of the more critical moments of the game because that's when we should have taken a lead and we didn't. So don't want to analyze it too much here. I'm still in mourning, but I don't know. This is going to sound crazy. I thought we had a decent game plan. I thought our zone, that little zone we threw, I thought it would look good. At the end of the day, you got to make free throws and layups, and we didn't. I think if we make a couple more free throws and a couple more layups, that people are actually sitting here saying that we had a decent game plan. But who gives a shit at this point?
Yeah, I don't know what I can say about this game because I think I blacked out for 2 hours, and there was a point where I had to go over to Hudson and Chuck and be like, hey, am I overdoing it? Like, sorry, this game does something to me. I hate Xavier so much that I'm not going to rewatch this game. I don't know much about it. Sincere Harris is something that I remember, just him throwing the ball at the rim. Like, I've never seen a complete 180 from the fan base on somebody that they love towards somebody
one of our better rim finishers.
Yeah,
did that.
Somebody that they think lost us this game, and that's Sincere Harris. And I wouldn't go as far to say that, but that's all I keep seeing on the internet is like, man, if Sincere Harris hit a couple layups, it's a completely different game.
It was a group effort.
Yeah. You look at the stats, it's crazy. Like, crazy. Baba 10, Chom 9, Day 15, Abayev 16, Kirk Kreisa 10. We didn't get much from our bench other than Celestine. It's just they had a guy go off for 30 yet again. It seems to happen every single year. I'm not going to play the whole adage of, some random Xavier player went off. No, this is their best player. Some of the shots he was making were absolutely absurd. There was one late in the second half, and just line drive through it at the rim, bounces up, goes in. It's just pain and suffering in this rivalry in my entire life.
If Wes Miller didn't lose to like Eastern Michigan, because like you're right, like I don't know if the game plan was terrible. Like I don't. There's not really like anything I can point to. You could talk about putting Buck Harrison for Sean Abayev. They were kind of going offense for defense essentially, and maybe left Buck Harrison there a little bit too long because he just could not finish on the offensive end. And Sean was playing great on offense, at least. He was getting cooked a little defensively. But it's like I don't know if we got really like crazily out schemed or some crazy coaching decision. Like they just outplayed us, and they had a guy just go off. Maybe a double team Trey Carroll once he's got 20. I don't know. Do something. That's the two things that stick out. But they just made a lot of tough shots down the stretch where we needed stops. Our biggest lead was 3. Their biggest lead was 13. I'm surprised we even clawed back into it with how bad our offenses look. So I don't know. But I do want to say, shout out to the pregame and the postgame show at Martino's, because in a night that everything went wrong, that was really fun. We got to meet a lot of the people. We had a huge showing for that. I can only imagine how electric it would have been if we actually got a W. Like we thought Kansas was fun. That place was packed, man. It would have been so fun. I'll try to learn how to save my voice. Like I started listening to the postgame. I'm like, oh my God, dude, it sounds like I just smoked 6 packs of cigarettes before I jumped on there. But I mean, we're passionate, but that was a lot of fun, man.
That was a lot of fun. Shout out Martino's, our presenting sponsor. We'll have a couple more live shows at Martino's for this hoop season. I don't even want to throw out a couple games there yet, but we will have some.
One will be in the Crown. We'll be playing DePaul in the first round, I think, this year. Or wait, that was last year. Sorry.
Do they have anyone good for us to take? Because we need to keep our streak of playing postseason.
Their coach.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
We'll move on. We'll move on. Let's talk about that. If there was anybody left on West Island, I would assume that they are completely gone. This is something we've been talking about in the group chat for 5 days. It's been all over the internet. It seems that Wes is a dead man walking, for a lack of a better term. I'll start with Lily because Lily's always the last one to turn on the coach. How are you feeling about the whole coaching situation? Is Wes finally done in after not only a loss to Eastern Michigan, but obviously a loss in the shootout?
Yeah. I think he's in some pretty deep shit because, like, the Sweet 16 year, for example, we lost to Marshall, we lost to Presbyterian, and the team turned it around. We got, I think, was that the brawl too? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Things happened that year early. Vibes were not good. They rallied around those vibes and turned it around. My issue here is this is year 5, and we haven't seen that ever happen. We haven't seen the team get better. It's usually start good and then begin the decline, right? Once we hit the mid-January, early February. Last year was early February, I think. They have the talent to do it. I just, even me, the biggest optimist, am very pessimistic about the ability to turn around. And I do think the fact that this happened early in the season is not helping his case. That's when back channeling starts. That's when donors get pissed. It's like, now you have to drastically overperform to win everybody back. And we haven't seen him drastically overperform for more than one game at a time since he got here. Like the Illinois game, Texas Tech away. I mean, there's not many examples, actually.
Yeah,
So
BYU on the road.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so it's just, we're now at the point, I have all this information, blah, blah. I just don't think we can do it for 2 months straight. It's kind of sad because I don't want to turn this into a whole West thing, but it's sad because when Mick and Brandon left, Brandon's kind of a psycho, and Mick was, he came in here, he's a UC guy, but he was never like rallying the fan base. He was kind of on defense mode with fans, and he wasn't a great politician. And Wes came in and was like this huge breath of fresh air. He came in from North Carolina, respected our program. He understood the family, the legends, and how to like unite everybody together and build excitement around the program. And, I thought that was cool. And I still think it's cool. Like, I think he gets a little more shit than he should get still. But I mean, at this point, I think the writing might be on the wall.
Did we lose Niehaus again?
Possibly.
Man, I'll tell you what, after the well, he's kind of back, but after the Xavier postgame debacle, maybe we're just screwed. We got the bad juju now because we can't figure out how to record a damn show anymore.
Did Reed do it again?
He put some bug in our computers and is making everybody. Well, while Niehaus tries to come back, we will kind of discuss. So one thing I wanted to promise to do as a show, or not to do as a show, and we're going to have to run it by the team first. But Wes Miller is clearly on the hot seat, right? Like, there's no doubt about it. What I'm going to try not to do is just talk about how he needs to be fired every game. Because what are we going to do? Another segment of like, Wes Miller deserves to be fired. I think most of us, maybe not you, most of us saw what happened last year in his 4th season, and we're like, okay, I think we've seen enough of the Wes Miller experiment. Does he deserve to be fired? I certainly thought so last year. He wasn't going to. So now it's like, hey, maybe, how you mentioned, we started off pretty terribly. This is a little new development with Wes. Usually he starts off pretty strong and then fails down the stretch. So maybe we're just flipping it mentally, and maybe we can get better because we have plenty of opportunities. Like, the season isn't completely over. Obviously, like you mentioned, historically, there's really nothing to point to say like, oh yeah, we can get out of this hole. But there's going to be a ton of opportunities, and that starts. We got Georgia on Saturday. Georgia, I think, is like 23 in Ken Palm. They're 8-1. They beat Xavier on a neutral floor. They just beat the brakes off of Florida State by, I think, 30 plus. That's going to be a really, really tough game. Will we win? I'm not very confident in it, but you have opportunities. You still have Clemson in the non-con as well. So, like, if a miracle happened and you won those 2 games heading into conference play, all of a sudden, I don't think you're getting everybody back, but there's going to be a little bit of hype going into conference play.
Yeah, at some point you have to like surprise the fans, I think is the way to describe what's like with football and basketball these last 3 years. I feel like last 2 years on this podcast, I have been a little repetitive saying when we win a game or two, I'm like, all right, here's the chance to flip the script. Like, what we've been doing is lose this next game and then probably lose the one after that. We continue to do that. Going on years now, there's a reason why fans are combining both sports together in their brains right now, because the whole athletic department, like in terms of winning and losing, has been very frustrating. And, it's boiling over right now. Like this is it. Like the shootout will do that. The way we ended the football season will do that. So now you have to surprise us. And it's going to take a lot. Like we're talking Georgia, Clemson, and Houston. If you want people to be excited by early January, that's what it takes. But in terms of making the tournament, you kind of have to beat Georgia and Clemson, right? Who do you need? Are we really going to whip out 12 wins in the Big 12? Could you see that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. We don't win 2 games in a row ever. So like, it's really hard to win 12. You got to win. I mean, it starts on Saturday. Like beating Georgia would be big. And we just saw Clemson. We're recording this Tuesday the 9th. We just saw Clemson. I mean, they were up 20 plus against BYU, a really damn talented BYU team. Like Clemson is really good. So those are going to be 2 legitimate shots to get big wins for Wes Miller time and time again. Like I said, we've kind of seen him, not live up to those moments.
Both Q1 locks, by the way.
Really? Okay. So there you go. So there's opportunity.
So, yeah.
I mean, before we jump forward a little bit to kind of go overview program, we can talk football just for a second. Any tidbits from Georgia? I kind of ran down their recent schedule, 8-1. It's a solid team. I know they're athletic, but any tidbits from you as far as just the preview of that game?
Yeah. Bet the over. Ken Palm has 81-72 Georgia, which, by the way, like just think of where we were a couple weeks ago before Eastern Michigan. If you told us we'd be 9-point dogs against Georgia, like what could have possibly happened, guys? Like how could that even happen? Well, here we are. It did happen. And these guys are the second fastest offense in the country. They're faster than we are by a lot, and we're top 20. So it's going to be back and forth, fast. They can't shoot threes either. But it's not like we're running into prime Alabama here from the last couple of years. It is still Georgia. Mike White's a good coach. They have a lot of decent players. Can't shoot. They're getting a lot of buckets at the rim in transition. Defense is decent. Offense has been really good. They really rebound the offensive boards. So, like, I was thinking, the performance we saw from Bob and Miller against Xavier, let's not think about the threes that he missed, but the defensive rebounding, he is now the number 1 defensive rebounder in the country by percentage, which, if you told me that before the season, I'd be talking like, hey, that's what we need. Like we got a tall 4 that can shoot. What? And he can rebound. So that's going to be a big thing with a high possession game. How can we take away possessions from Georgia? It'll be with defensive rebounding, trying to neutralize their strength. That is their 2 biggest strengths on offense are at the rim, 2-point percentage, and offensive rebounding. So Cham, Baba, protect the rim, get rebounds. We really need, if we want to make the tournament like we were just talking, which, it's a long shot, I'd say less than 10%. Cham has to get better. The Xavier performance was, I want to say, mid at best. And that's coming from me. Like, I'm a Cham guy right now still. I'm holding the line like Cyclone Larry was with Matt Campbell not leaving. Well, that didn't work out. But we need those big guys, the talented players on this team, to rise up. And it's got to start on Friday.
I'm getting worried because I just keep saying, I think I've said it for the last 5 games in a row. Like, we need more out of Mustafa Cham. This has got to be a big Mustafa Cham game, especially the Xavier game. And he didn't look great at all. I thought he played pretty poorly. I don't even know what he finished with, 9 points, something like that. But I thought he looked lost out there defensively. He didn't, a few different scenarios where he just didn't block a shot. Where I'm like, dude, that's why you're out there. And Trey Carroll's getting underneath them, going behind the basket and everything, and get those layups in. I'm like, you got to get your hands on the basketball. Otherwise, let's play McKinley then. If you're not going to do what we brought you in to do, he's got to figure that out. He's got to figure it out quick. And I know Wes Miller is probably the biggest proponent of him figuring it out because we paid a lot of money to bring him and that assistant over from UCF, and we just haven't seen anything close to what he needs to do from a production standpoint.
Yeah, and McKinley, honestly, with the way the season's going, if we want to look at a bright spot, it's Tyler McKinley. And, if there is a coaching change, I think every Cincinnati fan is going to sit here and say, like, the first job for that next coach is to keep Tyler McKinley. We got to keep the Cincinnati kid here. He's been very impressive. And just with, like, Wes has brought in a lot of bigs, in his 5 years here. And I will say it's pretty remarkable as a freshman how, like, poised he seems compared to almost all the bigs he's had here, right? Like, he just seems like a seasoned veteran.
He does. Speaking
like
of being
Niehaus.
poised, how about me taking over driving while his computer is having an aneurysm? I don't know if he's there or he's just being stoic or not, but I think we have him back and you actually look clear. HD. So
I'm on my cell phone. I'm going from the phone. So I'm going to need you to play the voicemails later. I'm on 7% on my phone, so I'll host until I can't anymore. But I assume that we already talked Georgia, right, boys?
yes, sir.
All right.
We
So
actually
let's
won
talk.
the game.
Jeff, I don't know what's going on. Do we want to talk football? We are in the Liberty Bowl against Navy, an old American foe. Lily, did you go to the Liberty Bowl against Vandy way back in the day?
I've actually only been to BCS bowls and playoff games. I usually spend my road trip money on the basketball team.
Got it. Well, that's it. Liberty Bowl, Navy. Any thoughts, Hudson? I mean, my God, how far we have fallen from a month ago.
Well, Navy, they like to run the football. I have a feeling the possession issue that we've had will just get worse. Like, we might have the ball for 5 total minutes while Navy just runs the clock. The only real tidbit to even discuss, like, I just don't give a single shit, first off, about any of these bowl games that aren't the playoff, like, truly. I think they should just – I know it's a money grab thing, but, like, even as a fan, all these guys opt out. Like, your seniors aren't going to play. We're not going to see Brennan Sorsby play. So, like, I just think it's so irrelevant. But the biggest thing for me was John Cunningham, mentioning, this is a great bowl to be in, historical bowl. Like, we're really excited about it. And it made me a little nervous that he is like – he likes that we won 7 games. Like, he's like, that's a successful year. And then you start to wonder, does that mean Wes Miller winning 20 games a year? He's like, that's a successful season, guys. I mean, we made the postseason in some bullshit tournament. Like, that's the only thing that worries me is John Cunningham is just, like, accepting mediocrity. Like, you should be like who was the AD? Penn State's AD? That was just, like, cussing everybody out on that tapped phone call. Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Oh, I heard it.
Yeah, like that. I love that. I want him to be our AD. Like, John Cunningham seems to be okay with winning 7 games, making a bowl game, and Wes Miller winning 22 games and making the crown. Like, that's the only thing that I came out of this entire Liberty Bowl that I thought was even noteworthy.
I think, like, I mentioned this in chat a lot, and I think it really pisses off Chuck and the people like Chuck who are a little more, passionate. I think that's the word I'll use there. I'm passionate too, just in different ways, but we've been in purgatory the last 4 years. We have, and like, I hear disaster a lot. I hear this is the worst thing that's ever happened last year, 2 years ago. And this last 3 weeks is below purgatory. We are past purgatory now. You're hearing actual fans, like massive groups of fans being upset. And that means donors are upset at this point. Usually donors, they're talking to the AD. They have good relationships. They don't, like, typically look at it like fans do because they know the people. They trust the people because they talk to them. And I think we've gotten past that point. And I do think that at this point, John probably doesn't feel that way going forward with either program. But, at the end of the day, it does seem like we're heading towards some changes in the near future here for maybe both programs, because it's spilled over now. We are now on the edge of hell, or maybe we're already in the depths of hell. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's also like things look
really
bleak.
hot, though.
Things look bleak in the future too, right? Like, let's go through all of the departures so far, which hasn't been bad yet. A bunch of guys that I'm sure a lot of common fans don't even know exist. But
There'll be more, though.
you look at, I was to say, you look at who's staying so far and who we expect to stay, and you got a handful of guys that you're going to rely on. If we don't have an amazing portal haul, we're looking at 4 wins next year. So, Lily, do we want to speculate on some that might be leaving? And then also, first off, give us some names that are definitely leaving, already announced.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got 6 so far. Dakari Anderson, Ethan Green, Kamari Burns, Woodburn, Zeb Kinsey, and Kai Stokes. 4 or 5 of those guys are just
None of them played.
You know, Ethan Green did play. He
Okay.
couldn't win the job over DeAndre Buford at right tackle, which, like, Buford was fine, but he was the weak link of a strong offensive line. So if you're not beating that guy out, you know, I would think he's probably going to go down a level and start something like that. So nothing horrible yet, but some people did think Ethan Green was going to start next year. Just, you know, natural old school fans, you know, like he's next man in line, right? Since he's entering the portal, I would say that he realizes he's not next man in line. And then, you know, I'm looking at the scholarship sheet, like you just said, and I'm the biggest optimist there is with UC Sports for like a diehard that's really looking at things. And you can count on one. You don't need more than 2 hands to count how many good players we have for next year right now. And you might only need one because right now it's, you know, I'm not counting Sorsby because it's pretty clear what's happening there. Sorsby is either going to the NFL or he's going to be one of the top 5 paid players in the sport. He will be a Heisman top 10 favorite to start the season next year at a different program if he stays. That's where we're at. If you don't think that, you're just a little late right now because it's happening.
Can I stop you there? Can I stop you there? So that is a foregone conclusion that he's either going to the NFL or transferring to be, like you said, a very highly paid player in the NCAA. He was mocked to the first round to the Rams, to Sean McVay. I think it was CBS who did that mock draft. I could be wrong. But we know that there's a ton of smoke with even Texas Tech, with SEC teams, with Miami, Florida. We won 7 games with him at the peak. If that's not an indictment on the coaching staff, I don't know what is.
We also have, I mean, when the draft comes around, we're going to have a lot of guys drafted. Yeah.
7 wins. So things are not great, Lily.
I really think they messed up the defense. The offense did make some mistakes down the stretch, but it boiled over. They had way too much pressure on them to perform because the defense was not getting the ball back. They weren't forcing turnovers. I mean, I saw a stat today that Arizona had 28 takeaways, and I was like, you got to be shitting me, man. They had 28. We had 2 interceptions the entire year. And we dropped like what, 2? Like, it's not like we dropped 15 picks. We dropped like 2. So we did not create havoc. We didn't give the offense an opportunity to shine. And yes, we should have won more than 7 games. And yes, we will look back on this season for years to come saying this should have been that big year for Satterfield for sure. Yeah. And like, we're looking at this right now for next year, and I'm taking Sorsby out. We've got Joe Cotton, Taran Tayo, Evan T, our O-line, if they stay. We've got Jonathan Thompson, Antoine Peak, maybe Pryor if he gets an extra year. That's something that's out in the ether right now, is Pryor's trying to get an extra year. I think he's going to get it. And then Caleb Goody, Noah Jennings. Like, that's less than 10 players, and you could honestly, you could argue that some of them aren't good enough. Yeah. So we have a lot of work to do. And like you said, honestly, the path to being good next year involves you got to really hit on 5+ transfers, and probably closer to 10.
Awesome. So things are great in Clifton in football and basketball. So I'm on 4% on my phone, 3% now. So let's get to the voicemails. I don't think Hudson, you don't have any football thoughts, or do you? Do you have anything you've been wanting to get off your chest?
No, you guys said everything that needed to be said. This was supposed to be the last thing I'll say is like this would have been a great Satterfield year to hang his hat on, and like a Jerome
Build
Tang
momentum.
situation where he wins 10 games and everyone's like, all right, now we can get on the bandwagon. But that was the make or break year, and now he's going to be way uphill. I think he's probably out too after next season. We'll see, but I'll get to the voicemails.
Yeah, I need you on the P's and Q's. You got it? You want to start off? I think Bearcat Mark will start off with that one.
All righty, here we go. Let's see.
What record would it take you to buy back in on this season? My answer is 11-3, by the way. I'm back on board, ready to get my heart broken again at 11-3. What record would it take you to get back on board with Wes Miller? I'm not even touching that one, but you can. By the way, Houdini's jumper looks wet. Thanks, guys. I'll hang up and listen.
Houdini's jumper.
Thank you, Barrett. You guys heard that, right? Or could Niehaus not hear it?
I couldn't hear it, but I know what they all
I heard
said.
All right, Lily, what do you think? He did say my jumper was wet, so we love Bearcat Mark. I'll just say that from the jump.
So when he said 11-3, he's talking about next year football. Is that what did I hear that?
I
right?
think 11-3. I think 11-3 the rest of the hoop season.
Okay, gotcha. Well,
that won't.
anyways, I'll just do both sports. For next year, for football, I'll do this one quick because it's so far out. If we really want to like rally around Sad, I think we need 8 wins plus. Next year's schedule looks tough. If he'd win 8 wins next year, I'd be like, okay, there's a lot of turnover. How the heck did you pull that off here? And I would start to be like, maybe this guy's just a good coach, and let's focus on hoops while you keep doing your 7-9 win game thing. Basketball this year, oh my goodness, this is a good question. Before the season, I said just make the tournament, but this has been a traumatizing week or two. And I think for me to really start buying back into West this year, I don't care about the record. You got to get in and make a run and not get embarrassed in the Big 12 on the path to that. Like, I don't want you sneaking in at a whatever 500 record and then going on like a NC State like run. I need results that feel different than the previous seasons to get there. Like, it can't just be a fluke.
Yeah, I think I sound like an idiot because we have 22 games in basketball left. I'm trying to find 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, so that I was just wrong. Anyway, what I need to see from Wes, I feel like it's Sweet 16 or bust. Even if you go and somehow sneak into the tournament, which we're not going to do, right? I feel comfortable saying that. Like, I don't think what we've seen, barring a miracle, we're going to win very many Big 12 games to even have a resume, to even be on the bubble. Because we said 2 losses max in the year 2025, and we're already at 3 with 2 potential losses. Hell, even 3. I mean, how good's Lipscomb? I don't know how good Lipscomb is.
They're better than Eastern Michigan.
So we need a miracle, needless to say. That's all I got.
Can we just I think Satterfield's got to get 8 wins next year. I don't think he'll do it. 8+, like Lily said. And double-digit wins in the Big 12 for basketball this year? I think is there? Is there 18?
We're at 18 this year, yeah.
18 conference games. So if you go 10-8, I mean, it's not insanely good, but you're definitely in the tournament. You're not even on the bubble. Maybe he's got to do more than that, though. I'm just trying to look at realistically what he could even possibly do. Would probably be like 10 wins, right?
Yeah, I think probably 11. I mean, unless we beat Georgia and Clemson, then win 10. But yeah, that 10-11 area for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if he could somehow, go 12-6 in the Big 12, I would be fully back on board. Like, I'd be like, all right, this is a legit team, because you don't win 12 games in the Big 12 and not be a really good team. So
you can't
maybe we'll do that,
that,
Mark. I wonder if it's Mark, the author guy on Twitter. He's all
I think
over
it
the
might
place.
be Bearcat, yeah. Mark Raines, yeah.
Yeah, shout
Fan
out.
of the program.
Shout out to Mark, man. Appreciate you. But Niehaus is dipping. He's back. It doesn't matter.
I went to go get a charger, so
he's like Wes Miller in Big 12 play. It's just win one, lose one, comes back. You get back on the train. Let's do Bearcat Barry next. How about that?
This is Bearcat Barry 69 from Twitter. I just got kind of a hot take here. I want to say that I feel like a majority of the fan base gave up on Sorsby, and it's kind of ridiculous because he actually was really, really good. It's just hard to play and win games when your defense gives up a touchdown 6 out of 10 times that the opposing offense touches the ball. I don't understand why we're hating on him and wishing him to leave. I understand quarterbacks, they take the blame for everything and all that. I just think it's ridiculous that we're just wishing he leaves like we are. Again, this is Bearcat Barry 69, and that's just my hot take.
All right. Bearcat Barry 69. He made sure to put that in there quite a few times. Thank you for the question. And I think we kind of answered it before. You're right. Like, people did jump off the Brennan Sorsby bandwagon a little bit, especially after that Utah game that was just so abysmal. And we were just expecting this guy to play perfect football. And you could see that clearly he's sought after by not only the NFL or not only other NCAA teams, the NFL. Like, he's got a legit shot, and they're mocking him, top 3 rounds or whatever you want to call it. He's a really damn good quarterback and had one of the best seasons of a UC quarterback that we've ever had. And that's just fans, I think. You just look at the final score and you say, hey, did Sorsby have a good game? He didn't. He just didn't make many mistakes, but he did make a couple crucial ones. And that's where I think the fan base kind of turned on him. In losing, those 4 games down the stretch, I think it always is going to fall on the quarterback and the head coach. But you're an idiot if you don't want Brennan Sorsby to come back to UC, which he won't, unfortunately. But I think it would be insane. You would welcome him with open arms if Sorsby wanted to come back to UC.
I think the only reason I would want Sorsby to leave is so that he can save himself from this whole thing, because he is a superstar in my opinion. I've never really heard that too many people saying that they want him to leave, but I think it's definitely a foregone conclusion that he's going to leave. Like, I don't know. I think we set the record for time of possession, least amount of time of possession. I mean, I made that up, but like, it seems like it. If you don't have the ball, how are you going to score? So I think he was done. I think he was done dirty by his defense.
I have seen that Bearcat Barry. Like, people are saying that. I have friends that are saying that I respect too. Like, it's not just random burners who hate this guy, right? Or just people. Burners are people. We respect burners on this podcast. So sorry, don't take that the wrong way, guys. But at the end of the day, Brennan Sorsby is one of the best quarterbacks that has ever played at Cincinnati. Like, I know it might sound like a hot take. It really is. He was awesome. He was really good last year. And guess what? The defense sucked too. And we blew it. We were 125th in the country in plays per game on offense. We did not have the ball. We did not get our best players the ball. Our defense was a disaster. We, quite frankly, ruined this window to win with a really good offense. Like, not even really decent. This was a really good offense. And Brennan Sorsby did all of the right things in Cincinnati. He recruited players. He worked with the coaching staff. He stayed late after practice with the receivers. He was a leader by all accounts. Everything you want in a quarterback. And the people who feel that way, they're just wrong. Like, they are wrong. They should want him back. Who cares how much money you pay him? He's going to make probably double wherever he's going. But it's just sad to see, because if we had a really good year and then he was getting questionable NFL interest and he really believed in what we were building here, I think he might even consider staying. But it's kind of jumping off the Titanic type thing right now, I think. And he's going to get labeled on Twitter as some money chaser. It's not that. It's your future. It's, he's going to make a little more money this year. Sure. Next year. Sure. But this is about getting to a better situation for your final year in college. That's what it's about. And I'm just bummed out that we didn't capitalize on it, because he's a damn good quarterback and we did not get him the ball enough. His mistakes were just magnified because the defense really just did not give us many opportunities to let the offense cook.
We're going to look like
You're
idiots when he wins Heisman next year. and goes to the playoff at Texas Tech or something, it's just going to be so embarrassing for us winning 7 games, playing in the goddamn Liberty Bowl against Navy. Anyway, let's go to the next one. We got Quadri Moore voicemail. Here it is.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Quadri Moore from Cincinnati, Ohio. We can go through and talk about, all of Wes's flaws and who the next coach is going to be. But I got season tickets. I'm stuck with this team for the rest of the year. Realistically, what is a realistic outcome for this season? Do we have any hope, of beating competent Big 12 teams? Or is this just going to be another crown year? And then another thing I'd like to say, where was the fire from Kirk Risa in the shootout? We've seen those videos of him at Kentucky, getting fired up, being that elite, point guard, ball handler, the guy. I didn't see that. I haven't seen it all year. Haven't seen it in the shootout. That's all I've got. Go Bearcats.
Thank you, Quadri Moore. Still a fan of the program. After a stint at UC, we wish him the best and appreciate the call. Lily, what do you think as far as his question there? What is the, realistic of this team? And that second point, the Kirk Risa. I'll answer the Kirk Risa one. We played him 33 minutes. I just don't think that, coming into the season, obviously Jizzle left, that he was going to be expected to play 33 minutes a game. You know what I mean? I just don't know if he has that anymore. He's been injured a whole lot. I just don't know if that's a recipe for winning basketball when Kirk Risa has to play 30-plus minutes. And I know it's what do? You put Tillery in? Probably not, but that's our weak point is the point guard spot. I thought that he would do a little bit better. 2 of 9 from 3. I think for him to be out there, he's got to be shooting threes anyway. So it's feast or famine with him from the 3-point line. Because if he's not knocking down shots, he's just not that productive.
He definitely didn't have that edge. Maybe, we see all the highlights with him. Maybe it's just when he's hot or when they're winning or something. I'm not going to point fingers at him for the shootout. Be nice to hit a couple more threes, but I could point at Bob Miller. He shot 4 pretty open threes. Chom shot a open 3. He might not be allowed to do that anymore soon. We'll see. I still, at this point, why not, right? While I think the team, played, they could have won the game. We took the lead late. They could have finished strong. They didn't. But I was surprised at the lack of edge that you mentioned with Kerr. Sincere Harris didn't play well. You didn't see the edge from him, but that was more of it's very obvious why you didn't see it from him. He airballed a 2-point jumper. It literally hit Houdini in the face at Martino's. And that was a 2-point jumper. It wasn't a half court shot. This is, how many miles separate campus? So obviously he was rattled, not locked in. It does seem like we're kind of missing a leader right now, to your point. We'll see if something changes there. But it really is nice hearing from former players like Quadri Moore on the podcast. I look forward to seeing who's next. Are we getting I know we have a couple former players that do listen to the pod, and maybe they can Jarrett Hensley, if you're listening, can you do a fake Mason Madsen question for us or something? I want all these former players to hit us with these questions here.
I know Vic listens, so we got to get Vic to send in a voicemail.
We got Clemson coming up. Let's make some calls.
Yeah, all right. So to what the realistic outlook of this team is. You know what? This is going to sound crazy. I think we start off 3-1 in the Big 12.
Wow.
I know. So Houston, that's obviously a loss. Then we're at West Virginia, at UCF, and then we have Colorado at home. Those are 3 very winnable games. Then we're going to finish, the next 2, 3-3. We got Iowa State. We got Iowa State and Arizona. The rest looks bleak. Not going to lie. We have some gimme games again. We play West Virginia twice. We play UCF twice. That's good. Kansas State's kind of in shambles. Is Utah any good this year? We can win some Big 12 games. Here's the thing. It just feels so awful right now because it is. But there is some talent on this team. It's just a matter of, do we think that Wes is going to get it all out of them? it's hard to say yes.
If we start 3-1, I will actually kind of buy in on this team because those three teams like West Virginia, UCF, Colorado, they're not very good, but we've lost to two teams worse than them. So it'd be like, well, maybe something changed. And it was road games. Hopefully we get to that point.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I think the floor is like 6-12 in the Big 12, which is really scary to think about. But I don't think it's that far out of the question if this team continues to lose games and the confidence and the culture gets worse and worse. So we will see. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping for above 500 in the Big 12, which is insane to even think about. But that's what I'm hoping for. Let's go to our last voicemail of the night. Ian.
Hey, my name is Ian. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio. I have one question, and it is about Wes Miller. Do you think that there is absolutely anything he can do other than win playoffs to make him at all likable again? Because I don't even think he's likable at this point. Like, it's one thing to not want a coach. I dislike him, and I think most of Cincinnati does too. Is there anything he can do other than win playoff games to make people not dislike him? Peace. Chatterbox.
All right, it was a little difficult to hear, Niehaus, but I think what he said is the only way for people to like Wes Miller again is to win. I think he even said playoff games, tournament games.
Yeah, we got Clemson and Georgia coming up.
I think this is a layup. I think this is a layup of like, is there anything Wes can do to get the fans back? And it's
yeah, I mean, I think Lily just hit the nail on the head there. I think if you beat Georgia and Clemson, I think people are going to feel good going into Big 12 play, which, you know, right now we're probably the lowest we've ever been in the West tenure, especially being year 5.
Crazy.
If you win those two games, like I said, those are two very, very good teams, quad 1 wins. If you win both of those, and you got to beat, you know, Lipscomb and Alabama State too, of course, but you're going to feel really good going into Big 12 play. Will it happen? I would be absolutely shocked out of my mind. But if he did, I'm right back on the wagon.
I'm just laughing at Lily making up a school on Friday night, calling Alabama State Alabama A&T. He's like, Alabama A&T is in play. It's in play. Yeah, I think if you win those two, people are feeling a little bit better, and then not losing to Houston by 40. Like, if you put up a fight against Houston in Big 12 play, start off 3-1, you're gonna have a little bit buyback into the program. Hopefully, go on a run here in the Big 12 and make the tournament. Probably still not enough, but you know, it's been 5 years. Just I want to see our name on the bracket.
And I'm going to take this question seriously, Ian. Like, I'm talking end of the year. This is an absolute long shot, but like, I still hear, I work in hospitality. When I see people wearing UC gear, I talk about UC with them and see what they feel because, you know, it's fun for me. It's probably why I do this podcast. But I continue to be shocked at how many people still root for, like, really like Wes. They're like, I think he's going to figure it out. Like, he's that exciting thing that we almost everybody felt those first 2 years of like the recruiting and like the momentum it felt like we were building, which obviously never came to anything. I think deep down it's still in everybody. So if there was this scenario where we do make the tournament and make a run, Wes is still that charismatic, rally the troops, great with donors, building momentum. He would win us all back. There would still be some skepticism about his long-term ability to coach, I think. Like, you know, NC State's Final Four run, it's like Keats got fired the next year because he was going to get fired, but they went to the Final Four. It could be that scenario, right? But I do think if Wes does get it together this year and does go on a run, that he would drag us back in. Everybody, including you, Chuck. It's not going to happen, though.
I mean, I don't think there's anything, to answer this question just subjectively, I don't think there's anything Wes could do this season for me to be confident in him long-term as a coach. I'd have to see it multiple years in a row. Like there's really nothing he could do. Now, if
Mhm.
he wins the tournament game this year, that's huge. That monkey's off his back. That'll be massive. People will be excited again to be UC fans. But as far as what he does this season, I don't know if there's anything that he could possibly do for me to be like, oh, that's the guy. Give him an extension. Let's extend this guy for another 5 years. Like, there's nothing, in my opinion.
I don't want to hear that word. I don't even want to hear that word.
Extension. That's a tough word to hear.
Yeah. All right. Well, Hudson, thank you for taking over the hosting duties for the voicemail. And as I was gone, thank you everyone for listening for a weird episode. I was, my computer died on me. My phone had 1%, but we make things work here at Chatterbox Bearcats. We said we were going to go 30 minutes. It is now 50. So I think it is time to go. Shout out to Martino's amazing live show on Friday night. Thank you to everybody who showed up. Watch the pregame show, watch the postgame show. It was really fun interacting with all the fans. And again, shout out Martino's for being our presenting sponsor. It was a blast on Friday night. We will have, of course, the postgame show for the Georgia game on Saturday. Until then, see you guys later. Thank you.